Hey guys, what's up, Zyphlin here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Citrine's Recrystalise augment. Now, this augment makes Citrine's fourth ability go from, you could subsume it off to something worth considering keeping on because it gives you such a high crit buff, and on top of that, it has basically infinite duration now with this augment. This augment is very similar to Banshee's Sonar's augment, Resonance, where if you hit the weak point on the target, it spreads, except with this one, it refreshes the duration of the crystals, right? So it doesn't just take the remaining duration, it gives it a brand new cast, basically, right? So what we're talking about is this augment right here, Recrystalise. So enemies killed by crystalline growths stagger and spread the crystals to enemies within 16 meters, which obviously scales up with your power range. So I'm running the build which weights heavily into range. Ignore the fact that my overextended isn't maxed out. It's simply because I didn't want to reform it. You can do a lot of different things to swap this build around a little bit. We're running a lot of the Archon mods on here because Citrine is a frame which can apply many status effects with her third ability, and you want to have your third ability basically up at all times, so you can see it does fire, ice, electric, and toxin. So Archon Flow is going to give us energy orb drops. Then we have Archon Continuity applying corrosive. We've got Archon Stretch giving us energy regen. So you're never really going to be running out of energy with this build. You might be able to drop Equilibrium, but honestly, just for the sake of like sustaining energy, like making sure you always have it or always have a way of getting it, I would just keep it on. You basically have infinite energy with this build. The rest goes in the strength, so we have growing power, blind rage for our strength, which is counteracting the overextended nerf that we get, catalyzing shields for our what's it called, our defense and survivability. You can swap this out for Archon Vitality if you're not doing like really high-end runs and stuff like that, but catalyzing shields, Archon Vitality, Rolling Guard, anything that you want to throw on for defensive purposes fits in this slot. Arcane Eruption is on here because you're going to be able to knock down the enemies with what's it called, energy pickups, which you can get a lot of via Death Cube, which I've got on, also spamming the 1, which is quite nice, and then also, you know, your Archon Flow on here, so affecting with the free, they can drop more health orbs, and you basically CC all the enemies all the time, mod augment it for more power strength, and that is basically the build. Prime Sure Fit it, that's it. Very cool build. Pretty easy to put together. You don't really need the Prime Sure Fit it because you can play this like, you can hunker down in the spot and just stay there and then just let all the enemies run towards you and kill them. But I'll give you guys a quick demonstration of how this all works. So you want to have your 2 up, obviously. You want to have your 3 up, obviously. You go ahead and you cast your 4. And what we're talking about with the crystallized things are these big crystals that sticks from the enemies here. So I'm not really able to demonstrate it too well here in the simulacrum. But whenever we jump into a mission, what you'll notice is that the enemies that are really far away have these crystal groups applied to them. And basically all you're going to be doing whenever you're playing the mission is just spamming shots through these crystals to keep on applying them. So I'm using the Nadarak for today's little demonstration because it just makes it easy, really. So the more you're killing, the more you're hitting these crystals, the more it spreads, and the more uptime you have on all the crystals. All you really gotta recast is your 3 and your 2, and then you can go ahead and use your 1 to make the enemies drop orbs whenever you need. And another thing I'll show you guys as well is the Death Cube setup that I'm running as well. So mainly it's just this energy generator mod, and that is just going to help with your survivability and stuff like that, because that's really all I thought was lacking with Citrine whenever I was trying her out in a Steel Path survival, was just staying alive, you know, because you're dealing a lot of damage constantly, you're constantly dealing a lot of status effects and stuff like that. So let's just go ahead, jump into a mod, and I'll show you guys what this build is all about. So it's fun. You can, you know, maybe subsume off the 1 if you really don't want to have that on. Like maybe you think the amount of orbs and stuff that we're generating, or the amount of energy that we're generating with this build, is a little bit too much. You could swap the 1 off for something like Roar, for example, if you want even more damage. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do, but you want to cast your 2, and then let's get some kills real fast here so we can get some energy on the go. And maybe also I should what's it called, cast this for energy. Use my 1, kill some bad guys, get those orbs. You see all the enemies fall down because of the eruption, and then we can, I don't know, where do you want to go? Go all the way over here, right? So we go here, We cast our free. We cast our fort. All these enemies have crystals on them. And you just keep on aiming for the crystals that are going to be on the enemies. And you're going to get basically infinite red crits, because that's what the fourth ability does. It gives you 300% bonus critical chance when you're hitting the crystals. So you have a ton of status on this build via the third ability. You're applying like all these status effects to enemies that walk into range. You've got a ton of crit, and you also have a ton of sustain. Like, what is not to like? And then you've got your survivability option of choice, the catalyzing shield, rolling guard, etc, etc. It's just a very, very strong build. So I'd recast the 3, cast the 2. If you want more energy and health and stuff, go ahead, spam the 1 a little bit. And look at all the red crits. Like, you just choose a position and you have it locked down. So this works in the likes of defense missions as well, by the way. Interception missions, etc, etc. It's just because of how many enemies spawn in the survival. That's why we're sort of demonstrating it here. I can maybe go ahead and put the third ability here, maybe. Recast the 4. You don't have to recast the 4, but if you're changing locations, I would go ahead and do it. The more you kill, the more the fourth ability is going to spread in a single cast, right? So you can have infinite uptime on the first cast of your 4, as long as you're killing all the enemies sort of like near one another, you're good to go, you know? And then maybe if you want to stay active, like running around, picking up the energy orbs and whatnot, that'll make the enemies fall over because of Arcane Eruption. And that's your survivability, you know? Like, your CC, you don't really have to make use of a defensive mod or something if the enemies literally aren't shooting you anyway. So recast that 3, hit that 1 a little bit, keep on shooting the crystals, red crits everywhere, and that's basically it. That's Citrine. So she's like one of my favorite frames now, just because like it's just like hunker down, deal a lot of damage, kill a lot of enemies, lots of ways to keep yourself alive, sustain. She very much reminds me of, like, Release Gara, for those of you who were around and watching whenever Gara first came out. Like, I was really fond of Gara because I could see the potential in the kit. And, like, there's a lot more things that you can do with Citrine. This is just, like, the latest way of playing her because of this new augment, the Recrystalize augment that came out. So, she's definitely worth a nosy, worth a pickup. But yeah. We could sit here all day and do this, to be honest. And you can bring any weapon to this as well, as long as you know you don't need the crit, right? Because you're gonna be critting a lot. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get out of here, because we're just wasting time at this point. We're literally just wasting time. You guys get the point. Citrine, pretty dang busted, really strong, lots of status effects, lots of sustain. Lots of damage, basically everything, you know. And then the Nadarak. If you want the Nadarak build, here it is as well, because everybody's got the Nadarak, right? You get it after the new war quest, so you can use that on a build like this. Murder everything. So that's going to be the build, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button if you liked it. Subscribe for more Warframe content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.